Hello and welcome to the Fecal Incontinence smartphone app. This daily bowel diary can track your bowel symptoms and accidental stool leakage events. It is scientifically validated and accurately records your bowel habit in the privacy of your own home. The app has 17 screens, and it should take no more than 2 or 3 minutes to complete the diary. Let me walk you through the steps on how to use this app and record your symptoms. First, go to the Apple Store or Google Play or wherever you get your apps to download this app to your smartphone. Once you're in the Apple Store, for example, you search for the FI Stool app. You'll see this orange icon, and you can go ahead and press download to get it downloaded to your phone. Once the download is complete, go ahead and open the app, and it's going to ask you to create a username and a password. So let's go ahead and create that. Once you're done, go ahead and hit Login. This first screen is going to ask you for the HIPAA waiver. If you'd like to read more, you can go ahead and click on it. It'll take you to the complete waiver for review. Click Complete once you've read and agreed to the terms and conditions, and go ahead and submit. This is the very first screen of the FI app. Here, you're going to enter all of the medications that you take daily. For example, if you take a daily baby aspirin, you'll go ahead and enter the name and the dose and when you take it. You can add more drugs or save the existing drugs that you already have. Once you have completed and entered all of your medications, hit the Save button to move to the next screen. You're only going to have to enter your medication list one time, the very first time you use the app, and the screen won't pop up anymore. Now you see the welcome page. From now on, every time you log in, this is the first screen that you'll see. The screen presents 4 options. Today's diary, which is the option that you're going to choose every day and every time you record a bowel movement, a stool leakage event, or a stool staining event. If you experience several episodes in a single day, please remember to record every bowel movement or stool leakage event by returning to the app. If you want to check out past entries, review your bowel record, or print out a report, go ahead and touch this box of FI Stool Diary Report. If you want to change your password or login information, click on the Change Login Password box. Or if you want to log out of the app and not enter any information, go ahead and touch the Logout box. We encourage you to stay logged in for the entire period, 4 weeks or 3 months, to save you from having to log in each time you record a bowel movement. If you accidentally hit log out, don't worry. You can go back to the stool diary icon on your phone and log in once again. So let's go through the app and show you what it looks like when you choose today's diary. On the screen, you'll press yes if you had a bowel movement or stool leakage event. If not, choose no. Once you choose yes or no, you're going to see a flickering blue arrow at the bottom of the screen. Remember that an accurate daily record is important. Even if you had no bowel movement or stool leakage, you should make an entry at least once a day in the app. The app will automatically remind you at 6 and 8 p.m. every day. By selecting no on the screen and pressing the flickering arrow, you can exit the app. If you did have an event to report, click yes and the blue arrow. On this screen, it'll ask you to record the time of your bowel movement or stool leakage event. Touch the box Enter Time here, and you'll see a pull-down menu where you can scroll up and down. The hours are shown in the 24-hour format, so go ahead and pick the hour and minute of the day separately, noting exactly when the event happened. For example, if you had a leakage at 6 p.m., you will select 1800, and then you can scroll up and down in the minutes column and select the minute when the event began. For example, at 30 minutes. Click OK, and you'll see the flickering arrow at the bottom of the screen, and you can press this to move on. This screen will record the urgency for stooling, which is your ability to hold a bowel movement when you experience the desire to poop. So if you can't hold your bowel movement for 15 minutes, select I can't hold BM for 15 minutes. On the other hand, if you can hold your bowel movement for more than 15 minutes and take your time reaching the toilet, go ahead and select I can hold it for more than 15 minutes. Once you select one of the two options, press the blue arrow. This important screen records the amount of stool leakage or stool staining event. There are 4 options, and you should select only one. If you had no stool leakage or stool staining, select none. When you choose this, it's going to skip to the next screen on the app. If you leaked a small amount, say 1 or 2 tablespoons of stool that stained your undergarments, select mild. If you leaked a moderate amount of formed or liquid stool, select moderate. If you passed a large amount of stool, select excessive. Then go ahead and press the blue flickering arrow to proceed. Here, you're going to record the activity that happened just before the bowel movement or stool leakage event. You have 7 options, and you can select as many options as possible. For example, if you were both working and eating or drinking when the stool leaked, choose both options. If none of the options describe what you were doing at the time, choose Other, and you can describe later on under a comment screen. Then press the arrow to proceed. This screen with multiple stool forms is also called the Bristol stool chart. Here, you'll record the stool form or stool consistency of your bowel movement or stool leakage event. There are 7 different stool forms, and you can select just one option, so pick the one that most closely represents the bulk of your bowel movement or leakage event. The stool form can vary during a bowel movement or leakage event, could vary between type 3 and type 4 and 5, and if that's the case, just use your best judgment to pick the predominant stool form. Then press the flickering blue arrow. On this screen, record your stooling sensation just before you had the bowel movement or stool leakage event. You have 3 choices, and you should pick one. If you were totally unaware of your bowel movement and have leaked stool in your underwear or felt wetness, then you should select no awareness. If you felt a normal urge and had a stool leakage event or passed normal stool, select normal urge. If you felt a very strong urge to rush to the toilet despite attempts to hold it back, select strong urge. And then advance to the next screen by pressing the blue arrow. On this screen, record yes if you were wearing a pad or leak-proof underwear or an incontinence brief today. Select no if you weren't using any of these protective wears. Then select the blue arrow to proceed. This screen records if you need some assistance with starting a bowel movement. You have 7 options and can select one or more than one option. For example, if you used a laxative and an enema today, you can select both options. If you select Other, you can describe this on a separate screen that'll come up shortly. After making your selection, press the blue arrow. Here, you're going to record yes if you felt completely empty and satisfied with your bowel movement. Or if you felt you weren't completely empty and there was still some stool left, select no. Then go ahead and press the blue arrow to proceed. Here we're talking about leakage of urine. Select yes if you had accidental leakage of urine. If you had no urine leakage, select no and press the blue arrow to proceed. Select yes here if you accidentally leaked gas or could not control passage of gas today. On the other hand, if you had no gas leakage, select no and the blue arrow to proceed. You are almost done. Here, please record any additional medications you had to use today to help your bowel problem, such as any fiber, herbs, loperamide, antidiarrheal, probiotics, etc. Don't list your usual medications here, just any additional medications you took today. You'll see this screen only once a day. Then press the flickering arrow to proceed to the next screen. This is your chance to add a comment about your bowel problems, especially if this wasn't captured in any earlier screen. For example, if you had a bad day with multiple leakage events, especially after you ate something, go ahead and describe that here. Once you've entered your comments, press the arrow to proceed. Congratulations, this is the last screen. You have successfully completed all entries for the FI Stool Diary. Go ahead and exit the Stool Diary by pressing Exit Stool Diary. Now I'd like to show you how to retrieve past entries and generate a report. You must have completed at least 2 weeks of a stool diary before you can look at the past entries. On the screen first, you must choose a start date and an end date for the baseline period in the very first box that says Choose Baseline Dates. The period for this report has to be either 7 days or 14 days. So if you started recording your app on October 1st, press the start date and a calendar will pop up. Scroll up or down to select the month and date as shown, and then go ahead and press Done. Now hit the end date and Done again. And then you have chosen the period for a report of your baseline dates. If you wish to choose a second period, press the next box that says Choose Treatment Optional Date. If you want to check your progress or how you are responding to a treatment, you can go ahead and pick a new start date and a new end date and close this window by hitting Done. Although you've picked 2 separate periods for your report at any one time, the FI Stool Diary app can show a report for one of the 2 periods. So you can either choose the baseline period or the treatment period and press the blue arrow. This screen will display a summary report of your baseline stool diary. You're going to notice on the screen the number of days for the report. Next, you'll notice the average values for a number of parameters such as the number of bowel movements per week, the number of accidental stool leakage events, what time of day the stool leakage occurred displayed in the time periods, and all the other bowel symptoms you recorded over a 1 or 2 week period. If you want to print this information or mail it to your provider, you can do so by hitting the Send in Mail option at the bottom of the screen. We hope you liked this educational video of the FI Stool Diary app. If you have any further questions or comments, please write to Amalesh, AMALESH, @yahoo.com, or visit the website Neuroguts, NEUROGUTS.com. Thank you so much, and goodbye.